My entire Twitter timeline is just filled with people posting their setup, talking about Mac Minis, showing off what this AI assistant is doing for them. And honestly, this is a pretty wild moment for AI that you are able to do something like this. So today, we're talking about Clawdbot. You know, having this at this scale is crazy. But the thing that no one wants to tell you is that this is genuinely risky and you are essentially giving an AI full access to your computer. I want to teach you how to install it, but also be completely real with you on the risk and show you how to set it up properly so that you're not prone to risk your entire laptop or your entire life. So what I'll cover in this video is what is Clawdbot, what is this crazy thing that everyone is talking about, the real risks that you should understand when you want to install it, how to install Clawdbot safely using the AWS Free Tier, a private VPS, or your local terminal. I would only suggest the local terminal if you are either using a new Mac Mini or your old computer that has no access to anything else. For me, I'm personally using it on an old computer that I only have for Clawdbot. So what is Clawdbot? Clawdbot is an open source personal assistant that's created by Peter Steinberger. Unlike ChatGPT or the regular Claude, it runs on your hardware. So this is your laptop, a server, a Raspberry Pi, whatever. What makes it different is that this has persistent memory. It remembers everything across your sessions, so you can ask it, you know, what you did yesterday and it'll remember it. It remembers your preferences, your past conversations, ongoing tasks, basically anything that you feed or any data points that you give it, it will remember over time. It's also extremely proactive. It reaches out to you for morning briefings. If you've told the AI to remind you about something or remind you of something every morning. It also gives you alerts. Most chatbots would wait for you to type, but the difference is that it will actually be proactive and reaches out to you if there's a task that you need to do. You're also giving Clawdbot your full computer access so it can execute terminal commands, control your browsers, manage files, access your calendar and email. It's also multi-platform, so it's the same assistant across WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, Slack, iMessage. It's the same conversation, same memory everywhere. So you can text it on WhatsApp, you can text it on Telegram if you have it connected, and essentially it will remember all your details from all the other sessions as well. So you message it something like clear my inbox of newsletters or book the cheapest flight to Berlin, and it actually does it. So the risk here, and I'm gonna put a very important disclaimer here, is that this is not gonna be for everyone and you should only install it if you are ready to accept that there are risks and you have to understand all the things that you might risk with this system. So the Clawdbot documentation literally says running an AI agent with shell access on your machine is spicy. There's no perfectly secure setup, and here's what you're actually risking. Clawdbot can read and write files, run commands, execute scripts, control your browsers. It has admin level power to your machine. There's prompt injection attacks, so malicious actors can embed instructions in your emails, web pages, and documents. Your AI reads a web page and then the web page contains hidden instructions. Your AI will just follow it, right? So security experts are calling this out as a major threat, which I will highly, recommend that you don't connect to email. That's not something I did. Thirdly, there's also the gateway exposure. So just today, there were news that there were hundreds of Clawdbot gateways that are publicly exposed. So these are your API keys, chat histories, credentials, all accessible. So if you accidentally misconfigure it, you're handing your computer to strangers, essentially. Fourthly, there's your messaging app as remote access. You control your Clawdbot through Telegram or Instagram or something else. If your phone is stolen or your session is hijacked, attackers have direct access to your terminals. They can tell it, archive my work folder, and upload it with a single message. My recommendations as we go on the tutorial is that you should use a dedicated device, which is what I did, or a VPS. Don't run this on your main machine with all your passwords in it. Secondly, use a new account. Temporary phone numbers for the messaging channels, so they would highly recommend you to use a new WhatsApp. But for the Telegram idea, I'm just giving it the bot access, which you will use botfather for, so that is isolated. Thirdly, you should also enable sandboxing in the config and do not store sensitive credentials where Clawdbot can access them, because it can essentially access everything you feed it. You should also review what it's doing regularly just to see that it's not doing anything risky. So the first installation method that I'll teach you is to use the AWS Free Tier. This is what I recommend for beginners. It's completely free for the first 12 months and it's isolated from your personal machine and is good practice for cloud deployments. And I'll teach you how to do it right now. So when you create your AWS account, you should go to amazon.com and sign up or use your existing account. And if you haven't done this before, it's pretty simple. So essentially what you do is that you go to EC2. What you'll see here is that these are all the services, and this is basically creating a virtual server in the cloud. So once you're on this page, all you have to do is launch an instance. All you have to do is click your name and your tags, and then you scroll down. So what we're doing here is that you are selecting the free tier that's eligible. For instance type, just put T3 micro, which is the free tier that you have. And then for the key pair login, you have to create a new key pair and then download the files. And essentially all you do here is that this is your name. Yep, this is it. And then you create your key pair. And then once that's done, you should go down to the network settings, create security, allow SSH traffic. And then once you're done, all you have to do is click launch instance, and then it will start to load. And now that the instance is done, you can click on it and then it will guide you to the page. And then what you have to do is that you can connect the instance, connect using a public IP, and then it will bring you straight to this page. Once this is set up, you should put your SSH into your instance and then install Node.js. And then all you have to do is install your Clawdbot. What you have to do is go to Clawdbot website, and then depending on whether you're using Mac or Windows, you should just put this one and then paste it here. And then what it's doing is that it's going to install everything that's necessary. And yep, that should be pretty simple to install. And then once you do that, if you decide that, okay, maybe you want to do it through a virtual private server, you can more so use a VPS that's around $3 to $5 per month. This is always on, there's no sleep issues, and you can choose the European data residency with providers like Hetzner. So once you install everything, it will prompt you to this gateway dashboard. You can chat on it here, but you can also chat directly on Telegram if you've connected it with Godfather, or WhatsApp if you're using a new number. So essentially, this is the gateway access. It will tell you whether your gateway is working, whether your status is connected, what's the uptime, at least in the recent times that you've been using it, because sometimes it may not be connected. So you have to check this gateway to make sure that it's working at all times. So these are the instances, the sessions that I've been using it, and you can check all your details. For example, I connected my Telegram. These are the configurations for my Telegram access. I also linked my WhatsApp, but I actually unlinked it already because I'm focusing on Telegram. But you can essentially link as many devices as you want, depending on what you're comfortable with allowing it to connect. And then you can also see the instances, the sessions, and then here's the fun part. I haven't actually linked any of the skills yet, but these are all the workspace skills that you can use. So 1Password, you can also give it access to Apple Notes, Apple Reminders, Bear Notes. There's a bunch of things that you can actually provide access to. We can also give Gemini CLI, your GitHub access. But yeah, I think generally I will be disabling most of these things, just considering, I don't feel too comfortable giving my entire life's access to this spot. I'm comfortable with some things, but I think there's always a line in what you're able to provide. And then once you go to the chat button, this is where it gets fun. So this will be accessible on your Telegram or your WhatsApp, or you can talk directly into the gateway chat sessions. So my bot name is actually called Gigi, and I have a few things that I do with it currently, especially giving me reminders, taking photos of what I'm eating, and having Gigi kind of be my calorie tracker. I'm trying to hit like 100 grams of protein per day. So what I'm trying to do is that, Gigi, can you tell me all the things on my to-do list today? So Gigi will basically crawl everything that I posted on my to-do list. So essentially all my habits that I've been doing, meditation journal, hitting 100 grams of protein, and walking 10K steps a day. And then some of the other stuff that I've created is asking it to do a app design for me. So these are all the things that I've told Gigi to do today. But essentially, it's very, very cool because, you're able to have persistent memory across time. And so it's very, very cool to do some sort of, tracking bots where you track your habits, or, a calorie tracker. Because what I do is, because I have it on Telegram, I'll just take a photo of like my lunch, breakfast, dinner, and then Gigi will immediately tell me, okay, what's the estimated calories, protein-wise, or carbohydrates, etc. And then it will log it to a food log. So another cool thing is you can also ask it to do like a Kanban board style to track all of its tasks. So do you make a Kanban board to track all the tasks that you are working on? So what it's going to do is it's going to immediately help me create a HTML file for me to track all my tasks in a very, very simple way. Let's see how long it takes for Gigi to create this task. Yeah, so all it's done is that it's created a Kanban markdown file. This is extremely quick. So all I have to do to open it is prompt this thing. Let's see. Okay, and now it's done. Okay, this is the markdown file, but I will ask for a dashboard actually. Can you make it in a interactive dashboard format? Wow. Okay, so immediately it created a Kanban board HTML file for me to view it locally. So what it does is that it has a backlog, it has in progress of what it's working on, what's done, and today's habits, which are all the habits that I personally want to track every single day, is all tracked. This is like extremely good for the time taken, which was like less than a couple minutes. So I'm overall very, very impressed with Gigi's capabilities so far. If I'm talking about Gigi, I'm referring to my bot. I think it's very, very good if you are using it as a simple like personal assistant, trying to use it to maybe book some restaurants that you're looking at, or do some simple tasks like trying to browse the internet while you are in the gym, or trying to ask it to remind you to do something. So I talk to it like it's my assistant currently, because it is essentially designed to be like your assistant. Except, I'm not comfortable with giving every single thing to Gigi yet. Only when, the security improvements or compliance kind of improves over time. But I think currently, at its current stage, I'll do simple things and try to outsource a lot of that things that I can outsource to Gigi if I could. So thank you so much for watching this session. Remember that it is extremely risky to do this. So if you're not doing it on a new Mac Mini or your computer or AWS or VPS, then do not touch it. Make sure that you safeguard your devices, safeguard your life, and make sure that you take everything very, very seriously before you get started. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.